Hello, Cancers, and welcome to this, your January 15th through January 31st reading and predictions. How's 2024 treating everybody so far? I'm recording this video for you in the middle of January with the purpose or the intention of covering the time frame between January 15th and the 31st. For those of you who are new here, a very warm welcome. If you hadn't noticed, I do not edit my videos. I'm already tripping over my words, and that just happens to be part of the fun. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Now, Cancers, we're going to dive right in just a moment, but also stick around right until the very end, because if you have a burning question that you require a yes/no answer to, and you would like some cards to give you an idea of whether your answer is yes or no, stick around to the end and I'm going to be giving you that opportunity. All right, so Cancers, in your last reading, the very first reading for 2024, covering the time frame January 1st through January the 15th, you were encouraged towards looking to the future with a lot of enthusiasm. You also had the don't cry over spilled milk cup that comes up. That would be the Five of Cups. And that is a card indicating that perhaps some of you were kind of looking to the past with a longing, not realizing that you are actually affecting your future and your future opportunities by longing for the past. So let's dive right in and let's check out what the cards are predicting for you coming up for mid to late January. Now, where are we going for where you're at now? Interesting. I have not used this particular deck for over a month now, and I've been called to pull your first cards from this deck. This is the Angels and Ancestors. Whoops, that one's on the floor. I'll pick it up in just a moment. This is the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray. All right, so we just have the one card that jumped out, and it is on the floor. Oh, every year you get a little bit older, that gets a little bit harder. Okay. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. Oh my, I am so not set up well today. Should just start this video over, but that's not going to happen. Okay, Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. This is a card indicating that where you are at right now is that you haven't had an opportunity to fully put some of your plans into practice. You are still in the process right now of being in that manifestation where you're trying to get a really clear picture on exactly what it is that you are working towards, and you're not quite sure exactly what it is. So the universe is still in the process of going, okay, he wants this. Oh, nope, nope, nope. They changed their mind. Wait, she wants that. Oh, she changed her mind again. So the universe is in a place of flux for you right now, Cancer, as you kind of fluctuate back and forth. Which way am I going to go? And so this card is a card asking you to really, really narrow down exactly what it is that you want to achieve in 2024. Make those plans, make them really clear. If it means picking up pen and paper, I can see some of the Cancers actually having new vision boards. And I'm not just talking about a vision board wherein you're going to go and cut out some pictures from a magazine and paste them on a piece of Bristol board. I'm talking about actual manifestation here where you may draw pictures. Okay, fine, you might not be a great artist, but the reality is that when we use our own hand to either write out a list or make a picture of what it is that we want to manifest, there is a different type of connection that our brains make with the universe. It actually changes our brain chemistry. And although science is not able to fully embrace and explain it to us in the 3D world, we do know that there is a chemical change that happens in the brain. And for whatever reason, people who write out lists, people who draw pictures of what they want to manifest, have better, I don't want to say luck. That's not the right word, but they have better success rates at doing it. So Cancer, make plans and focus, and that includes getting that really clear picture. If it means picking up a set of markers, if it means painting something, if it means, sure, you can absolutely cut some magazine pictures out and paste them onto bristle board, but also get that hand to paper brain connection going on, and it's really going to help you with your manifestations. Okay, Cancer, I'm getting called over here to the Osho Zen deck for what you are focusing on. We already have one card that has flipped out. There's another card. Looks like you're focusing on a lot here, the latter half of January. Nope, just 2 cards so far. Anything else? Yep. Oh, and that one's on the floor. All right. Yes, I'm glaring at your card on the floor there, Cancer. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, interestingly, 2 out of the 3 cards that you received for what you are focusing on are major arcana cards, which is wonderful. All right, let me just refocus here. All right, you have the 2 of Pentacles here, also known as the 2 of Rainbows. This is the moment to moment card. This is a card indicating that you are in that place of still needing to make a decision. And the best way to make a decision is to make it from going from moment to moment. Okay, so here, where you're at right now, in the middle of January, as I do this reading, you're still in the process of making those plans and focusing and narrowing down. And then you're moving into that process of living moment to moment in order to be able to manifest, right? We can keep the process of manifestation is to get that big picture and have it really clear. But then we have to go back to living our lives moment to moment, moving forward through the steps in order to be able to get to that big picture. And that's what you're focusing on. And Cancer, you are focusing on a transformation. Now, this card corresponds to the 13 card in the major arcana of the tarot, being the Death card. Some people hear the death card and they completely freak out because they think death in the literal sense of the physical body dying. That is not the meaning behind the death card in the tarot. The meaning behind the death card in the tarot is transformation. It is about experiencing little deaths of our past selves. Now, as I mentioned, your last reading showed you in the process of really letting go of something from the past with that 5 of Cups that came in very strongly for you at the beginning, where you were crying over spilled milk, kind of saying, if only I could go back to the past. And yet an opportunity was presenting itself that you may not have been able to grasp because you were still crying over the spilled milk. This card is saying that you are finally letting go of that as you move through the latter half of January, experiencing one or more little deaths. Little deaths being, okay, well, I'm no longer going to hold on to jealousy because it no longer serves my highest good. I need to let go of that. Sure, it's fine if it's warranted, but so many of us carry around a sense of jealousy that does not. Why did I bring up jealousy anyway? Anyway, that's probably going to resonate for some of you. But, the emotion of jealousy, 9 times out of 10, is unwarranted. And when we live in that place of jealousy, what we're actually doing is hurting ourselves. So for a lot of us, we're going to give up living in that place of jealousy. Just because someone hurt us in the past that caused us to feel jealousy doesn't mean that everybody on the planet is like that. And so that is the transformation that you're currently having and experiencing right now, Cancer, which is really exciting. And the other card that you have here is the Innocence card. Okay. The Innocence card is nearing the end of the major arcana. It is the number 19 card in the deck. There's actually 22, but it goes up to 21 because we start at 0. But anyway, so this card corresponds to the number 19 card. And this is a card that is about us looking back at the past and shining a light on that which worked for us and saying goodbye to that which didn't work for us. And as I mentioned as well, this card is as we're nearing the end of a cycle, we are closing out a cycle very, very soon, Cancer. And as you do that, you are able to step into that place of that place of innocence, as the card mentions. But if any of you have done the work of being the observer in your own life, where you're going through a difficult situation, and instead of you actually experiencing the negativity and so on, from time to time, we have the capacity to be able to experience something from a place of innocence, where we kind of remove our emotions from something and we're able to view it before we dive back in with our human emotions. And that's one of the things that we do with this card. Okay. So, yeah, I love that you've got the moment to moment card and the transformation card together. That's really, really important. Let's take a peek at what is coming up as a difficult influence for you. Difficult influences and challenges for the Cancers for the latter half of January 2024, please. Okay, now there is a card that flipped over. Okay, the Sun. Okay, that's really interesting that the 19 card, the Innocence card from the Major Arcana, in your focus is also coming up in your difficult influences. You have the Sun coming up here as well. This is the number 19 card from the Major Arcana. Interesting, Cancer. So what this is telling me is what you are doing is trying to focus on innocence. You're trying to look at a situation from a place of innocence rather than bringing in all of your past traumas and judging a situation. Instead, you're trying to view it, shine a light on it, and just see it from that place of innocence. And you're struggling against that. That's why this card came up in your difficult influences. I know my lighting sucks today. I'm sorry. It's because the Sun is directly behind me coming through that window. I'm trying to block it. I apologize. Okay, so having the Sun card in your focus as well as in your difficult influences is indicating that you are digging even deeper into this work, into the ability to be able to see a situation, shine a light on a situation, and view it without the influence of a whole bunch of past hurts, and then be able to assess that situation and move forward. The second card that came out in your difficult influences, Cancer, is the Nine of Cups. Now, the Nine of Cups is considered one of the happiest cards in the deck. It is a card of achievement. It is a card of feeling as though, and the angels are singing, and there's rainbows and there's unicorns, and instead of rain we have sparkles coming down on us, and it's one of these beautiful cards. It just came up in your difficult influences, Cancer. So what this is telling me is that you have the opportunity and the possibility to move into this place of feeling like you have arrived and you have achieved and you're there. And yet, I just keep going back to this. There is a past belief system. There is a past hurt. There's a trauma in there, Cancer, that is holding you back. It's restricting you, and you are holding on to that for dear life. And the harder you hold on to that, the more you're going to push this Nine of Cups backwards. Okay. So definitely there is something that you need to let go of, a belief system. For some of you, I could tap in very deeply and tell you exactly what that hurt is. And I believe that that's why the jealousy came out in the example that I was using earlier. So, yeah, Cancer, Definitely explore your relationship to the emotion of jealousy. Where does jealousy come from? Are you overreacting, underreacting when it comes to the emotion of jealousy? I'm feeling that that's really, really important for you. Let's pull a card from messages the universe wants you to hear at this time. And that one's on the floor too. Oh my goodness. Ah, yeah. Okay. So the first message the universe would like you to hear at this time, Cancer, is be of service. Okay. That includes stepping up, helping fellow man, and it includes, I want to say, Cancer, this lesson that you are pushing towards learning, and I do want to say for some of you, it involves your emotions, specifically your relationship to the emotion of jealousy. As you learn this message, you're going to be put in a position where you're going to be able to help others deal with some of these really strong emotions. I'm not saying I'm not saying that what we need to do is quash our emotions. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is we need to look at our relationship to those emotions, and we need to determine if allowing ourselves to experience those emotions in a deep way is healthy for us or not. Because if the emotion is justified, then perhaps having a very big, my cat just jumped off a chair and rocked the whole table. Having a very big reaction to an emotion is perhaps warranted. But other times, if it's just a suspicion and that brings up a strong emotion for us, we need to explore a relationship to that. Like attracts like is the second message that the universe wants you to hear. In other words, if you are walking through life believing that you need to have jealousy at the forefront because you are always suspicious because you've been wronged in the past, you will attract someone who will wrong you. Okay, Cancer. So, I mean, this is a really deep lesson for you right now that if you're being called upon to explore your belief systems on a really deep level. And when you do, you're going to have an opportunity to move into a new manifestation and a new way of having relationships and experiencing relationships. Like attracts like. If you go through life believing that everyone is the same as an X, for example, then you will attract a new X into your life. If you go through life believing everyone is honest and generous and kind and so on, you will attract more honesty, generosity, kindness into your life. Okay? There's a karmic relationship there. Okay. Let's take a look at what's coming up in your unexpected. Unexpected for Cancer, latter half of January 2024. That one did not fly onto the floor. Yay. Okay, so we just have one card. Yes, one card that has come up for you, and it is the Chariot. And the Chariot has two meanings. The Chariot is almost always depicted as a black horse and a white horse, or it kind of, in the traditional tarot, it actually almost looks like zebras, one with black stripes, one with white stripes. And it's an indication that there is a decision that needs to be made. Interestingly, you had the Two of Pentacles come up here, indicating that you have a decision to make. Now, in your unexpected, you have a decision to make coming in. Once you make the decision, then the chariot is going to have an opportunity to come roaring towards you. Once you make this decision to be able to move forward, once you make the decision, like I said, I really feel like your reading is about exploring your emotions, exploring your relationship to the past and how you view things. And I highly recommend that you use the power of the two sun cards that came up in your reading to shine a light over top of your perception of how everything works in the world. Because our past experiences don't dictate and should not dictate to us what our future experiences are going to be. Like I said, if you perceive that everybody in the world's going to be a jerk, then you are going to attract more of that into your life. If your past belief system was everybody is out to get me, oh, woe is me, then you will attract more of that to your life. Okay. Once you make the decision to really explore that and get to that place where when these strong emotions come up, you have the ability to almost detach yourself for a moment to regroup and be able to see it from a higher perspective. The sun looks down upon the earth and sees the whole earth as a higher perspective. That is what we are being asked to do at this time, Cancer. See things from the bigger picture. And when you have the opportunity to be able to do that, then you can slip back into this humanness that experiences emotion, decide upon the appropriate emotion for what you saw from your higher perspective, and then take action on it. And I really feel like that is the crux of your reading. I'm getting called over here to the fairies. They are yelling, pick me, pick me. So, Cancer, final general overall outcome. You have two cards that have jumped out of the fairy deck for you. Let's see if there's anything else as we go through the rest of the deck. Apparently there is. Oh, another king. You have two kings so far, and one card that I can't see because it landed face down. So, let's get this back over here. Okay. Okay. Your final general overall outcome, Cancer. You have the Prince of Autumn coming in, also known as the Knight of Pentacles. This is a card that asks us to make sure that we are crossing all of our T's, dotting all of our I's, and be meticulous when we are going forward. This is about paying attention to our intuition, but also paying attention to any contracts that we may enter into. And it is about when we're seeing things from that higher perspective, from the sun's perspective, and we're seeing this bigger picture, make sure you're paying attention to the details. Okay. You have the King of Autumn here. King of Autumn. The King of Autumn is the richest king in the deck. He does indicate that there is good things, finances, good things coming in our jobs, and so on. But the King of Autumn got to where he is because he is assertive. Okay. He doesn't take no for an answer if no is not the right answer. Okay. He's compassionate, but he is also assertive. So be assertive. I'm getting a download. Cancer. The message that I'm getting and I still have two more cards to just read for you, but the message that I'm getting to kind of sum up your whole reading here is that when you can see things from the bigger perspective without involving a whole bunch of past traumas and emotions, you then have the ability to kind of dive back in and be your own best advocate. Advocate for yourself. Be your own best advocate. That is the wording that's coming into me. And it was like, I just stopped because the information came in and I had to get it out of my mouth. All right, the next card that you have, the next two cards that you have the Eight of Autumn, and you also, and I do want to point out too, that you have three cards from the suit of Autumn or Pentacles here. Very interesting to me. But anyway, you have the Eight of Autumn, also known as the Eight of Pentacles, and you have the King of Winter. I do want to point out that you did have two kings in the end of your reading as well. Kings are those who have achieved things. The reason they have achieved things is because they know their stuff and they're not caught into turmoil and they're not taken off their path. They have a view to what they want to manifest and the direction they want to go, and they go in that direction. That's how they get to be kings. Yes. Make your plans and focus. Remember this card right from the beginning? Yeah, make your plans, focus. You're going to go through some emotional stuff. You're going to get rid of some emotional baggage that no longer serves your highest good during the latter half of January. And you're going to move into this placement where you have two kings in your reading, meaning that you are basically ready to level up. In order to do that, you have to advocate for yourself, pay attention to the details. And these last two cards, what do they mean? Both of these cards are cards of ask for help if you need it. Get professional advice if necessary. Do more research before proceeding, including maybe taking a seminar or something like that. This may involve even seeing a counselor, going and asking your bestie what their opinion is about this situation. Are you overreacting or not overreacting? I really want to say, Cancer, that this whole reading was about your interaction with your emotions. Specifically, the really strong emotions, anger and jealousy, but jealousy in particular. Going for maybe some seminars, going back to school, perhaps seeking out some counseling. Okay. And I do want to say one more thing. The King of Swords is the least emotional king in the entire deck. Just saying. You're not being asked in this reading, as far as I'm concerned, to quash your emotions. You are being asked to temper your emotions, watch your reactions, making sure that your reactions are appropriate to certain situations. And that includes from time to time stepping back, stepping away, looking at the bigger picture, and then stepping back in. And maybe even asking for some advice. Okay. Cancer. Think of your burning question that you would like to have a yes/no answer to. You may want to close your eyes as I shuffle the deck. Ask your question 2 or 3 times in your mind. And cards, could we please have a yes or a no in response to Cancer's burning question? All right. Nope, not yet. Okay. All right. Come on. Okay. What this is telling me is that for some of you, yeah, there we go. I do have a card now. When I can't get a yes/no card out, sometimes it's an indication that the questions that you're asking require more than a yes or a no, but we'll see. All right, so ask your question one last time, and your answer is you're going in the right direction. All right. Cancer. With that, I am going to leave off your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel so that you'll get a notification the next time I post a video. I look forward to having the opportunity to do your next reading for you in the beginning of February. Thanks so much, everyone.